Welcome back to the video tutorial series for Power Leads Pro. In this video we are going to cover the different and various settings for the software. To access the settings menu, we're going to click on Menu, then Settings. Then if you notice here we have a bunch of different tabs up top, and in this video we are only going to focus on the email settings and everything over to the right of that. The connection and proxies we will cover in a different video tutorial. So getting started with the email settings, we have the frequency up here, and this tells the software how many emails we want to send per hour per account. Now before you pick a number of how many emails you want to send per hour, it's a good idea to first check with your SMTP provider to ensure that you're not sending too many emails that will perhaps go over their limit. For example, Gmail has a limit of 100 per day using a third-party client. So that means that you can only send 100 emails per day from a Gmail account. Now every SMTP provider is different. You have a number of different providers to choose from, whether you go with AOL, Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo, your own web host. There are numerous private SMTP servers to use as well, so please just be sure to check with your SMTP provider to make sure that you're within the sending limits so there is no issues with your emails getting sent. Now in order to add an email account, we're going to come down to this box down here and just right click and then select Add. We're going to type in an email address, then the sender's name, and I'll put my name for this. And then next we'll use the SMTP server, which for Gmail is smtp.gmail.com. Again, this is always going to be different depending on which provider you are using. And username is always going to be the same as the email address. Now the settings that you're going to have to check with your SMTP provider are always going to be SMTP server, the port number, and if it uses SSL or not. Now again, these are always going to be different depending on which SMTP email provider you are going to use. Once you're finished, click OK, and then that's it. Now your email account is created and inside the software. Now if you want to send a test email to make sure your account works, and also to check out what your email template looks like, you're going to come to this button here, click on Test Accounts, and then type in an email address to send your test email to. Once I'm done, I'm going to click on Test, and as you can see, it was sent successfully. Now again, before you're able to send a test, you have to first create an email. If you're unsure of how to create an email, please check out the email creation tutorial. Now the next box we have to the right is the blacklist. Now in order to use the blacklist, you're just going to click on the little icon here, and then it allows you to add an email address. And the times that you're going to want to use this is, let's say that you send out an email to 10 different leads, and one of the leads sends you an email back saying, please remove me from your list or do not contact me again. What you're going to do is put their email address in here to ensure that the software will never contact them. You can also blacklist domains as well. So if you want to blacklist an entire domain so it doesn't contact any email addresses at a particular domain, just type in the @ symbol, then the domain name. Or you can just use the email address if it's just one person requesting to be removed from your list. Now moving over to the Advanced tab, we have a number of different functionalities here. The most optimal settings are to check the Remove Duplicates box and to check with the same email address and headline or business name. Check the box for Deep Search Properties to gather all emails and phone numbers. Set the search thread count to 30, and check Send Separate Emails if you want to send emails to every single email address found particular lead, or if you just want to send one email address, one email per lead, then I would check this box here. Once this is all done, you can move on to the constructor fields. And using the constructor fields, this will basically just hide certain columns that you don't want to be visible when you do a search. Select the plugin and then select if it's visible or not. Moving on to the Others tab, you have Death by CAPTCHA settings to the bottom right. Please make sure that you enter in your Death by CAPTCHA account settings to ensure that if the software encounters a CAPTCHA when searching through Google Maps or Google Places, there is a CAPTCHA provider that will solve the CAPTCHA for you. If you do not have this information in here and the software encounters a CAPTCHA, the search will end up being finished and you'll get a lot less results. So if you don't have a Death by CAPTCHA account, please feel free to click on the link here, sign up for a Death by CAPTCHA account, then come back in the software and enter in your username and password. The FTP settings are for your landing page, and we are going to cover that in a different tutorial for landing pages. Next, we have custom tokens. If you want to use a custom token, you can create what you want the token to look like, and it could be anything using this format, and then the value, whatever you want the value to display. In the last tab, we have confirmations. These are just warning pop-ups that will let you know that you're going to be deleting something or closing something out, and it just wants to make sure that's what you want to do before you proceed. By default, these are checked, and you probably should keep them checked. That covers the settings for this video tutorial. I'll see you in the next one.